just pointing the camera at people. This is sketchy. I don't think I've been in a neighborhood where there's been so many people standing around looking, doing nothing, and I'm driving around with the camera. They're up early here. I have no idea why. But there's people on every block, and they don't look like they have much to do today, except fuck with the white boy, or fuck with somebody. I didn't expect that. God. There I was in Benton Harbor, Michigan. Now you're probably like, Benton where? Exactly what I thought. I was in the final day of a long road trip. I've been to the worst of this region. Saw Detroit, Milwaukee's hoods, the worst and most dangerous places in both Illinois and Indiana. And then I came here. Figured it was going to be easy peasy. Last stop on the trip. Some small town in Michigan with a terrible reputation. But I thought the worst part was behind me. Nuh-uh. Boy, was that a sketchy morning. I need to get out of here. I'm done. I came to Benton Harbor on the final day of my Great Lakes road trip. Came full circle. Started Michigan, went all the way to the top, came back down through Wisconsin, and here I am again. Why did I come to this small little city on the eastern shores of Lake Michigan? Because this is the worst place in this state. That's why. Sorry to end the trip on such a downer, but this is the reality we live in today. And don't pretend this isn't the type of crap you people like to look at for 30 minutes. Look at these fancy neighborhoods, everyone. Right along the water. What a pretty day, huh? And then look at that golf course. That's a PGA golf course. Every year they hold these big tournaments here. Some of the world's best golfers come up here and kick their balls around. It's a big deal. Or for the weather. Look at this. 70 degrees. The most beautiful early March day I think they've probably ever had here along Lake Michigan. This is fantastic. And there she is, Lake Michigan. What a grand gal. I sure am glad to see her. Across that water is Chicago. I haven't seen that lake since I was in Milwaukee 10 days ago. And it's day 30 on this road trip. And I'm tired. Soon it'll be spring up here. And these beaches will be full of people. But this isn't what most of the place looks like. Most of this side of town's just for the rich people who built this for themselves. Beyond the boundaries of this fancy elite resort is the poorest city in Michigan. Most of Benton Harbor looks like this. Well, this don't say it all right here. Hey. This is rough. This is bad. Damn. Like, I'm creeping through up in here, and there's a lot of people out. And normally, at 11 o'clock on a Monday. There's nobody outside till probably 2, but there's a lot of people standing around, just eyeballing me, fronting me, kind of giving me the "what the fuck are you doing in here" look. Why do you think I'm in here? You guys wrecked the place. I'm here to see how bad it is. Benton Harbor sits along Lake Michigan, about a half hour north of the Indiana state line. Now I know you're like, Benton Harbor? The worst place in Michigan? What about Flint, Detroit, Pontiac, Battle Creek, Kalamazoo? Yeah, those are also cities that have a lot of problems. But little Benton Harbor, it's bad. There's even less opportunity here than the rest of them. School is... Nobody's learning in here anymore. But for some reason, I don't think they really care. They call this place Benton Harlem in some Michigan circles. It's mean. But it wasn't always so bad here. Back in the 40s and 50s, this place was jamming. They were making stuff with all the steel that was coming out of the factories down the road in Gary. Parts for cars, appliances. Whirlpool had a huge presence here. And word was out. For 2 decades, the work here was steady and the getting was good. Until it wasn't. By the end of the 50s, a lot of the factories here started to shut down. Because, that's what American factories do. The war ended, so we didn't need airplane parts. And, us Americans decided we wanted cheap foreign cars that got better gas mileage. And even Whirlpool moved their operations overseas to cut costs. Damn China. So the motivated people left. And by 1980, this place was almost all black and very poor. And it was dangerous. And then crack came in the late 80s. We're about halfway between Chicago and Detroit, so this was the center of the Midwest crack trade. By the 1990s, this was the most violent place in Michigan. It was so bad here that the state government had to step in and try to sort it all out. It ain't got better since. Probably just got worse. Damn, I guess they're up today. Today, Benton Harbor, it's kind of a mess. Not gonna lie. The unemployment rate and the dropout rate are both in the top 5 in the state. It's also the 3rd worst place for crime. So I'd heard about those statistics, and then I talked to some people before I came, and I was like, is Benton Harbor really that bad? Yes, they said. I heard it was a bunch of housing projects, shuttered storefronts, boarded up houses, trash everywhere, gangs, drugs. So I drove around the neighborhoods here to see if things are that bad. I actually spent 2 different days driving around these hoods. When we first got here, I took a quick little drive through. It was a Monday morning, but you'd think it was a weekend. I guess these people had nothing else to do. But I had to kind of get out of there. I was like, this is a little too hot. So I went back into the hoods the next morning, so I could drive around a little easier without drawing so much attention. But I was wrong about that, mister. It's Monday morning, and a lot of people are just standing around. I think I just saw a drug deal. These people don't have anything to do. There's less than 10,000 people here now, and that's half of what it was 50 years ago. A lot of the people who stuck around, they're very poor. Half the population lives in poverty. This is the poorest place in Michigan. The average person here makes $10K a year. So that means the average person here lives in poverty. 3 out of 4 people here are renters. 1 out of 5 can't or won't pay their bills. It was so bad that the city had to combine the trash and the water bills together, thinking pay their trash bills so it wouldn't have their water shut off. The whole place smells like pot, but 2 in 3 people here get welfare. Can you use food stamps to buy weed? Anyways, I was shocked at how sketchy this place was. I mean, it's pretty bad in here. Got all kinds of empty. And then you got this. That place is gone. Just right in the middle of the neighborhood. Looking back, that was a pretty bad idea getting out of the car like that. But who knew? Damn, this place is messed up. It's just wide open. So everybody knows about how bad Detroit and Flint are, but the violent rate here is double Flint, and it's way higher than St. Louis or Baltimore. But Benton Harbor never shows up on any lists because it's so small. You've probably never heard of it yourself. They have terrible public schools, like worst in the state. 3% of kids here are proficient in reading and math. 1 in 100 teens here can do math at a basic level. I've never seen that before. And only 4% of junior high kids here can read. Now, for perspective, I'm from San Bernardino, and that place is a complete train wreck. Look at the current numbers from my hometown. They can read 10 times better where I'm from. Which I also have to add 3 in 4 kids back home speak Spanish. But if you're 10 times behind San Bernardino in anything, you suck. I'm sorry. There's another one. They're on every block. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 of them. Someone just burned that place down, probably after it was abandoned. They have wrecked this neighborhood. I am not kidding. There's not a lot going on in town, but there's plenty of dispensaries. There's one right there. And there's another one down there. Liquor store. Liquor store. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a bunch of people just kind of standing around over there. Nothing to do, I guess. All right, we're downtown Benton Harbor. Here's an example of how they're trying to kind of get things going. JVIS, they make car parts, electrical components and stuff for cars. Well, they're hiring. Probably can't get enough people to apply out here. And meanwhile, I have seen just all kinds of people wandering around, standing around with no purpose today. And there's plenty of jobs. They pay $15, $18, $25 an hour to start. You can make 40 to 80K a year. Problem is trying to get people to work. They've had 5 major riots here. There's probably going to be another one day. Parts of town still haven't recovered from the last one. I mentioned the population's going down. That's despite the high teenage pregnancy rate. A third of people here are under 18. Because kids having kids.
They want this to be a 15-minute city. It's on purpose. Make us all dependent so they can control us.
Well, I can tell you're on Facebook again, Mappy.
If you don't live in the ghetto will come to you.
You can't say that. That's pretty good, though. Did you make that up yourself?
I'm just saying.
Would you put the hunting rifle down for the last time, damn it? It's bad on this part of town, too. Crime here is 4 times higher than the national average. The violent crime rate's 1 in 38. So basically, somebody on every block is a victim of violence every year. There were 4,000 property crimes last year for 10,000 people. And a lot of shit's not even reported. So you can pretty much assume that every single adult here in this part of town was robbed last year. 10 years ago, they announced, "We don't have any money to keep our police department open, everyone." Well, you can bet the low-lives celebrated that. But that never happened. The cops are still here. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but they're around.
A couple days ago, there was this lady, I don't know her name, she's always been in a wheelchair all her life. And she was on Empire going across, and it was dark at night, and they killed her. Somebody killed her.
Right up here?
No, over on Empire.
Okay. So you said you hear gunshots and shell casings and stuff? What were you saying again?
Last year sometimes there was like the police, Benton Harbor police officers found like 7 shell casings 2 doors down from my house where I'm staying at. And then the next night after they found them, right across from me behind I'm at the yellow house, there's an alleyway. They found 21 shell casings there. Yeah.
What are they doing? Why are they shooting guns?
That's young kids, young teenagers. I try to stay to myself. It scares me. I don't want to be here no more.
Monday morning. Those guys were not happy about me being in here. They were tripping. I don't think they're up to any good today. So I was driving around the hoods, and I was like, I should probably not be doing this. But I kept going for YouTube views, and everyone was looking at me. I haven't really had that happen much before. Probably since I was in Oakland, and that was like 2 or 3 years ago. Same kind of stuff. Oh, shit. Oh, I thought we had a house on fire over there. But, like, there's a lot of people sitting on porches. I'm seeing a lot of gang-looking people like that over there. I don't want to point the camera at them, but they're over there. More people standing around. More people standing around. I shouldn't do that. I'm not gonna lie, this is some of the sketchiest shit I've ever done. What? Don't do it. I'm just pointing the camera at people. This is sketchy. I don't think I've been in anything in a neighborhood where there's been so many people standing around looking, doing nothing, and I'm driving around with the camera. They're up early here. I have no idea why. But there's people on every block, and they don't look like they have much to do today, except fuck with the white boy, or fuck with somebody. This is sketch. Damn. But you know what? Whatever YouTube wants, YouTube gets. What's going on now? A barbecue? Where are we going? That the best I could, but I got people all over. I feel like I'm in a video game like Frogger, trying to get through without getting hit, going across the road and trying not to fall in the water. And I need to get out of here. I'm done. So right now I'm in front of the Boys and Girls Club here in Benton Harbor. Probably the only place in town where no one's gonna come down here and mess with me. At least that's what I've been told. Kids don't come down here and hang out even though they got a building that's supposed to keep them off the streets and talk some sense into them. But man, I just drove through some of the sketchiest hood I think I've ever seen. I didn't think little Benton Harbor had it in him. There were people everywhere. I saw some broken down, boarded up. It was probably the most sketchy, top 5 sketchiest neighborhood or city, town I've ever driven in. That was just absolutely crazy, and it was really sad to see how those people live back there. Clearly they don't have a lot to do. Just about everybody was standing around, looking at me. Didn't look like they had much going on, and living in conditions that are just wrecked. They wrecked that entire town in those areas I drove through, and I did my best to try to show you what I was seeing, but it was kind of hard to do that when everyone's watching me. Did not think I would see that early in the morning on a Monday in Benton Harbor, Michigan, but I can see where it gets its reputation. It is definitely Little Detroit, for sure. So the rest of town, it's kind of a mixed bag. A lot of their downtown's all run down, but they've cleaned a lot of it up. There's a few new trendy things popping up here and there. They have a little bit of an art scene, a little bit of something. Not much though. I drove around the whole afternoon, and I think I saw maybe 5 signs of progress and about 50 signs of the past. 15 years ago, the city's finances were so bad that the Michigan Treasury Department had to step in. They wrote this report that basically said this city's been mismanaged so badly that their budget is essentially meaningless. The city was $10 million in debt. So the state sent the former guy who ran Detroit's budget, if you can believe it. He was like, I'm going to fix it. Well, he came in and basically just fired half the city's workers. And then he said, all the elected officials, you can hold meetings, but you can't govern anything. Lord. Then a bunch of people in town were like, where's our democracy? But then one city councilman was like, we kind of deserve this. We've been run terribly for decades. Pipe down. Another abandoned church. 2 of them, right next to each other. It's for sale. There's another abandoned building. That used to be the first motel in Benton Harbor. And the guy that owns the place just disappeared. Nobody knows where he went, and he refuses to sell the building, so it just sits. It's been broken into, and just a complete headache for the city. And you got more of the same over here. A lot of people here blame the former corrupt and all the bad leaders for this city's woes. But at the same time, they voted for him. Or didn't. In a typical election, only 800 of the city's 9,000 eligible voters actually vote. 800 people vote in a town with almost 10,000 people. Can you believe that? And then they had a water crisis here for a while, just like they did in Flint. The tap water here was actually worse than it was in Flint. Residents were suing the city, but they fixed it, finally. So that's good. Carjacking and shooting guns and...
No, they just basically shooting at people's houses and killing people. They ain't stealing no vehicles or nothing.
They're just shooting each other.
Yep. And to be honest, they don't even have a hospital here in Benton Harbor. Like, we had to go all the way to St. Joe to the hospital. You ain't no cop, are you?
No.
Okay. I carry a box cutter with me because I don't trust nobody at nighttime. Where I'm at, I'm basically in the hood. And it's just only me and another white dude that lives in the same house with me. And everybody else is black in the house. So if we leave, we always carry a box cutter with us. Because we're not taking that chance. Because we're the only white people on that street.
Used to be a big hospital right there. It was called the Mercy Hospital. A lot of people here in town were born in that hospital. Well, 10 years ago, it closed down, and then they tore it down. Said they're going to put in some new low-rent apartments right there. Damn! The seagulls are at the mall. Holy crap. So let's talk progress and change and maybe optimism. Okay, so I told you about Whirlpool. They were a big deal here until they took most of their business overseas. Well, for some reason, they still keep their corporate headquarters in town. And every year, they throw money around trying to make Benton Harbor better. Well, I don't know if they really actually care about the community. I mean, they did say that this place looks so lousy, it's hard to hire new people to come move here and work. So I just think they're buying up all the land and all the abandoned stuff so they can make it look better and impress their international business people. But that's just me. Down the street from Whirlpool, there's some pretty nice houses. The only real nice homes in town are over here by Whirlpool's HQ and by that golf course I showed you earlier. Now, this golf course is a sore subject. About 15 years ago, some rich people thought, you know that land out there that nobody's using? You know, where the factories were? Let's put a golf course there. So they did. A world-class PGA course. They promised everyone this is going to bring big change to Benton Harbor. You just watch. We're going to put in a big resort with hotels and shops and marinas. Well, they didn't do that. This golf course was supposed to ignite the community, you know, bring races together. It was going to make Benton Harbor a great place to visit and play and work. They said rich people are going to move here, and then they're going to send their kids to good schools, and then those schools are going to turn out scholars and athletes and artists. Well, it didn't. This golf course is just used by wealthy weekenders and Whirlpool employees. I bet the only black people who come here are to cut the grass. And today, guess what? It's hardly even used anymore. And then the biggest sponsor, KitchenAid, they pulled out, so they might not even have PGA events here anymore. And there is nobody here. I don't even think they're open. It's a beautiful day. It's 70 degrees. And it is absolutely hasn't been used in I don't know how long. This is really the only part of town where there's something to do. So I popped by a brewery at the golf course for a quick beer. And then I had to use the bathroom.
Yep.
Here's what the nice part of town looks like over by the golf course. Stuff like this right here is about $500,000.
Worlds apart.
Now this is St. Joseph, or St. Joe, as they call it around here. It's right across the bridge from Benton Harbor. Feels like a world away, though. This is where most of the wealthy people in the area live. I don't think these people step foot in Benton Harbor, except to use their golf course every now and then. But St. Joe's a neat little place. It's been called one of the best small towns in Michigan. And then there's this, the beach near St. Joseph. Do you guys remember when we first started out on this road trip, when I was out along these lakes? Well, if you don't, here's what I dealt with towards the beginning of the trip. That was only 3 weeks ago. Man, how weird this winter weather's been up here, right? Okay, so how do you fix this? Well, the city published this big 200-page master plan last year. I didn't read it. I really don't think a lot of people did read it. But I don't think they're going to get to any of it. In it, they talked about getting rid of illegal dumping and code enforcement, and they're proposing a bunch of retail here to boost the tax base. And then they say they want to put in 3,000 new homes here in the next 15 years. Well, I was thinking, I don't really know who's going to move here. And then I read, they want to be a sanctuary city. Oh, that's who's going to move here. What do you think Benton Harbor's future is?
Be honest, it would be better if Whirlpool bought everything. But if they did that, I don't see them helping any homeless people. But I would like to see them really help homeless people. Mm-hmm. If they did fix this up and let homeless people get Section 8 housing with them, yeah.
Benton Harbor had a great start, just like a lot of American cities. And then there was a big stumble. And what followed was extreme generational poverty, corruption, laziness, drugs, and rubble. Benton Harbor was the final stop on this trip, and I saw a lot on this 30-day adventure. In Detroit, I saw some signs of progress. I saw inspiration in Green Bay, and a whole new world in Milwaukee. There was a lot of good on this trip. And then you have places like this. Another American tragedy. This is everyone's fault. Democrats, Republicans, former residents, current residents, companies that wanted higher profits, and we wanted cheap shit. Still do. I was here for a month, and on this trip, I could have only showed you places that are inspirational and told stories of hope and progress. But this is what you people like to watch. What do you guys like watching content about crumbling cities anyway? Like poor and dangerous and places that are all shitty. Is it because you're afraid this is maybe going to happen where you live? Or does it make you feel better about your own situation? Or is it because this gives you a platform to bitch about everything? I read the comments. There goes America. We're ruined. They're doing this on purpose, damn it. Sorry to end the trip like this, but that's the way it's gonna end.
How much worse are things going to be with all these new migrants here? Are they going to take the last good jobs we have?
I hear you, Mappy. A lot of people are wondering how many Rockfords and Detroits and Benton Harbors are in our future. Where's our middle class going to be? Are we going to be replaced by robots? Are we going to be replaced by migrants? Pretty scary stuff. But hey, I have a surprise for you. We're going somewhere warmer on our next trip.
Hawaii?
That's right. We're going to Hawaii. What?
I get to learn about somewhere new. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell my friends.
Wait, who said you were going? I said we. Anyways, thanks for watching this road trip, you guys. And stay tuned for the next road trip. We're going to go to Hawaii, and it's going to be totally awesome. We're going to see all the good stuff and all the bad stuff that you guys like to watch. Up until then, keep watching more Unboxing America. Thanks, guys.
I can't wait. I've never been there before.
I know, right? I'm wondering, what am I going to wear? What do you think, Mappy? Something like this? Or now, maybe, something like this? Are you looking to move and need advice? I do consulting. That's right. I'll sit down and talk about where the next perfect place for you and your family should be. I do it all the time. Together, let's find you a new home that's safe and checks all your boxes. And I can also help you find your new house, too. Email me and I'll work with you on not just helping you figure out where to move, but I can help you find your perfect home, too. That's right. I know awesome, reliable agents all over the country. And I'd love to connect you to somebody who can help you search for that perfect home. And by the way, if you want to learn about where you should live, you should go to my website, homesnacks.com/findyourplace. On my website, you get tips on where you should move and what the costs are and a whole lot more. It's like an AI Nick Johnson consultation for free. And if you want to buy some Mappy gear, click the store link on my homepage. From there, you can check out the latest merch. There's hoodies, coffee cups, stickers, and shirts. Show off how much you love Mappy and support the channel. And I'm on Cameo too. If you want me to send you or somebody you know a personalized video message, go to Cameo and search Nick Johnson YouTube. It's fun. Hey guys, if you learned something new about America or what it's like to live in America, great. You should think about subscribing and turning on your notifications. You can also click one of these videos or playlists for more.
Hey YouTube world, I'm Sage, Nick's manager. You've enjoyed a Corner House Entertainment production, so watch another one.